Uber drivers are like, how do I put this? They're like doctors.
If it's not a 4.9 or above, you're not getting a ride.
The biggest tip I ever got from one of my rides came from one of the worst rides I've ever had.
As a passenger, you should realize you have all the power.
I've been driving Uber for 5 years.
I've been driving with Uber for about 11 years.
For 1 year exactly.
For 5 years.
No good rating, no ride. So if I see them with like a low rating, like a 4.5, then I start to question it. And then I start to consider where I'm picking them up from. So let's say you have a 4.0 rating and I'm picking you up from the club, I might reconsider that.
I can see the person's rating. I can see their picture if they have one, their name, how many rides they've been on. Obviously, their rating matters. If it's not a 4.9 or above, you're not getting a ride.
My nature is not to decline any rides. I really care about my ratings, especially at the acceptance rate. But if I'm in a rough neighborhood and I see rating below 4, like 370, 350, usually I try not to take it.
I do know now as a driver, I can refuse to pick somebody up who has a below a certain amount of score. You can put that in. I haven't done it yet, but recently I had a very low rated passenger and I found out why, and I'm going to do that.
If someone gives me a rating, I usually don't know like who gave me that rating, and they're all 5 stars, except for one. We don't need to worry about that person.
It was definitely in the high 3s. Like it was a low rating. She was screaming into the phone about her Uber driver. She started screaming about how slow I was driving. I thought it was going to be a situation. It was kind of scary.
But at the end of every ride, I'm asked, would I drive this rider again? Yes or no? And if I hit no, they automatically get 3 stars. And if you don't make it out in 5 minutes, I can cancel the ride, and I usually do. And then they get 3 stars for that too.
I had a passenger tell me that he looked at the ride, it was about $125. He said, I went in the store, got something to drink, and all of a sudden it went up $75. And he actually thought I would get the $75, and I'm like, sir, I wish. He got hit with the surges. Usually in the morning there's surges because there's a lot of drivers and a lot of people on the road, and the demand is high. As Uber drivers, we don't get the full amount from the surge. We get an extra $5 maybe if we're lucky.
From my observation, Uber takes about somewhere from 20 to 30%. Lyft where it takes about 15%. So Lyft is giving away more than Uber.
The worst people are the ones that tell you they're gonna tip and they don't tip. Like, why did you have to tell me that? To have me have my hopes up waiting for it.
This guy was very amazed with the way I drive. He's like, you're an incredible person. You're an inspiration to me. And when I brought him home, he gave me $100. Twice that's happened to me.
There were 3 stewardesses that were stranded wintertime, Newark Airport, 2 a.m. in the morning. I was getting ready to go home, and I took the ride, and they said, we just want to let you know, we've already had 3 drivers cancel on us. Will you take us to Philadelphia? I said, sure. We had a nice conversation there. They tipped me $57.
The biggest tip I ever got from one of my rides came from arguably one of the worst rides I've ever had.
It was a really short ride, and I was actually taking her and her teenage daughter to the emergency room. We were just chatting. It was like an 11-minute ride, and she tipped me $50. That was definitely the biggest tip.
The timing is the key. Morning rush hour is the best. You get to meet fresh-minded people. They are not intoxicated, they are not crazy, they are going to the airport, they are going to the office. You can make more money driving early in the morning.
One strategy that I do personally to kind of get into good trips, when I go into areas where I see that there's a lot of people moving around, I'm seeing a lot of calls coming through the app, I just hit the X until I see the little tab pop up that says 45 plus. That usually means your ride is longer than 45 minutes.
So Lyft has this option, it's called filtering. I can put the destination like somewhere in Manhattan. As I heading to the school, if somebody coming that way, Lyft will give me the ride. My last ride could be in Brooklyn, could be in Long Island, and I live in the Bronx. I do not want to drive 25 miles and paying my own toll to get home. I don't think it's fair. In this scenario, I think Lyft ahead of the game.
More traffic means more money. But me personally, I don't like to sit in traffic. My strategy is get one ride done, straight into the other.
As a passenger, you should realize you have all the power. You know what our car looks like. You know the driver's name. You know the license plate number. You know where the ride is. If you pay attention on the app, you can see the car coming. We don't know anything about you. We have your name. That's all we have.
People think that we know where they're going. And a lot of the times they get mad at us because they expect us to know exactly where to pick them up and exactly where to take them.
I went to a turkey hunters convention. It was the largest turkey hunters convention in America. So I was pulling up, there were 300 people standing outside, and every single one of those people was wearing camouflage. Every single person was wearing camouflage. So even if I had a picture, wouldn't have helped. So I sat there and waited and waited and waited. And then finally I got a message, where are you? I was like, dude, you know what my car looks like. I'm literally at the pickup spot. I was like, are you wearing camouflage? Because I got nothing. And then for the rest of the weekend, I just drove turkey hunters in camouflage.
A good passenger is someone who is ready for pickup, or at least understands to communicate when they are not. I mean, chop, time is money.
Take care of other people's cars that you ride in because, they're paying for these cars. When they leave their garbage or gum wrappers, you don't even know it's back there until you're done with your shift. So that's when you get back scores saying, dirty car, and that impacts your scores.
My spidey senses are active when a passenger is already texting, where are you? What time are you going to get here? So someone who's over aggressive, someone who's disrespectful, someone who crosses boundaries, that is someone that gives me a red flag.
I hate when somebody puts out a cigarette right before getting in my car and gets in the car with all the smoke. It's like they don't realize all that smoke is like chasing them and gets right in the car with them. Don't put it out and then come in my car. Your best friend has got to be some kind of car scent. Make sure you carry at least a Febreze.
For the summer is we get to people pick up from the beach and they come in the car with the scents on their feet, on their body. Please clean yourself before getting into the car because this is not going to be a last ride for the driver. The driver is still continue the shift, so the car, it needs to be clean for the next passenger.
I had a passenger that I picked them up in Hoboken. They were drunk, and I told them, please put on your seatbelt. There was an accident in front of me, and I had to brake, and the guy didn't have his seatbelt on. And when I braked, he hit against my wheelchair. Please wear your seatbelts when you get into any car. You're going to go flying.
I love driving rideshare because I meet super interesting people and they're from all over the world. It gets me out of the house. It's my social life. I always know what's going on around town. I know where the best restaurants are. I feel like I'm keyed into the city.
Everybody's going through something, and for you to be a listening ear while also driving them to their location is a good feeling for me. I love it. You get a show, you can hear stories. For me, that's an awesome experience.
That's why we do this. That's why I do this. Uber drivers are like, how do I put this? They're like doctors or someone in healthcare. We are here to help you. We're not here to hurt. We're here to help you.